Hello, everyone. All my friends out there, happy Read a Book Day. Yes, I am KP Carter, the Literacy Whisperer, and I am going to read a book to you today. Well, not the whole book, some of the book. While give me a moment, I want to invite some of my friends, and I want you to invite some folks as well. Okay? So I hope you had and did you have a good Labor Day weekend? Yes, it was a good Labor Day weekend for me. Hello, Books That Sew. Thank you for joining. Please share. I'm just sharing with a few of my friends, and I am going to start very soon. So, as I was saying, I hope you had a great Labor Day and are ready for a bedtime story. To celebrate Read a Book Day, that's right, I am going to read from my new book, Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes, second edition. So let me tell you a little bit about the book, a little bit about me. I am KP Carter, as I said, the Literacy Whisperer, and my goal is to support children and help them to become the best readers that they can be. I am an educator with over 35 years of experience, and I'm an educational consultant and a children's book author of chapter books. Yes, we know how important it is to keep our children reading once they get to be like 8, 9 years old. We want to challenge them. So what we do is we provide chapter books for them. Oh, I see a couple of my friends saying that they are going to join a little later. So I'm just going to get started. Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes, second edition, is a very important book for me because originally I put this book out into the world to all my friends and readers back in 2014. But I decided that I wanted to add some little extra important things to help kids understand how to manage their feelings. And I want children to really get a deep understanding of the family love that took place in this book and to see if they can recognize some of either themselves or someone that they know in the Lizzie B. Hayes character. Lizzie is 8 years old. She's a funny little accident-prone girl, smart as a whip. She loves basketball and loves her family. She happens to live with her extended family. She lives with her grandparents and her cousins, Shushu and Mookie. And Lizzie's parents happen to be divorced, but she's surrounded by love. Did I mention that this book is historical fiction? Yes, historical fiction. For those of you, if you have your children watching, historical fiction is a story about something that happened in the past, but some of the things are changed to make it more interesting and more relatable for the readers. So my book is just right for children ages 8 to 12. 8-year-old, I'm going to read the back of it to you. 8-year-old Lizzie B. Hayes, along with her cousins, Shushu and Mookie, can't wait to kick off their summer of nonstop fun with all the other kids in Newark, New Jersey. Always wanting to be the center of attention. I bet you know some kids like that. Always wanting to be the center of attention. Lizzie has several tricks up her sleeves to guarantee that all eyes are on her. But this summer is different. Just as Lizzie gears up for a summer filled with jump rope contests, shooting hoops, trips to the local library, and of course, roller skating at breakneck speeds, she begins to hear rumors of trouble brewing in her neighborhood. And to make matters worse, Lizzie's father plans to take her on a 2-week vacation down south. South Philadelphia, that is. And now she's faced with leaving everyone she loves for the first time. Hello, Virtuous. Thank you for joining. I so appreciate you for popping in. I just wanted to come on and read some of Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes second edition to celebrate Read a Book Day. So I'm going to read just a few chapters of it. So chapter 1 is cod liver oil. Yuck. Have you ever tasted cod liver oil? It's a slimy fish-smelling medicine that grown-ups tell you will knock the cold right out of you. Grandmommy pumps cod liver oil into us every morning from November through the end of March, which was right around my birthday. But last March, I turned 8. Here it is, the first day of summer vacation, and I have to take some of that disgusting stuff because for the last 2 days I have been coughing and sneezing and feeling really lousy. A cold was trying to catch me. So I wrinkled my nose and squinted my eyes and squeezed my lips. Only a escaped. Being careful not to spill one drop, Grandmommy slowly brought the tablespoon to my lips, and the tip of the spoon had barely touched them, and I heaved and bucked and made my eyes roll back and splat. That cod liver oil sprayed all over the bathroom mirror. Grandmommy frowned at that messy mirror, shook her head, and poured me another spoonful. I let a little whimper out and I managed to squeeze a tear from my left eye, hoping that she would see how badly I felt and stop. This time when the spoon touched my lips, I crossed my eyes and staggered backwards. Just a few steps. Unfortunately, there was nowhere for me to go because I was so close to the sink. I couldn't turn my back on Grandmommy. I shivered, shuddered, and shook my head and watched in slow motion as her steady hand closed in on me. Lizzie, if you want to go with your daddy on Wednesday, you'll take this medicine and you'll keep it down. Grandmommy scolded. A little part of me wanted to go with my daddy, but I wasn't so sure that I wanted to spend a few days away from everybody I knew because so much fun happened in the neighborhood during the summer. Skating, blowing bubbles, shooting hoops, and jumping rope. But when I was just a baby, about 3 months old, they told me, my mommy left my daddy in Brooklyn, New York to come back to her mother's house in Newark, New Jersey. And on that rainy Saturday afternoon, we brought all our things with us, but it was mainly just clothes. Family members whispered that daddy had stopped paying attention to mommy, or whatever happens when grown-ups don't get along anymore. We lived on Chadwick Court with Grandmommy, Granddaddy, and my 2 cousins, 13-year-old Shushu and 12-year-old Mookie. Soon, Mommy found an apartment not too far away, and since Grandmommy took care of me during the day while Mommy worked, I guess it was just easier for me to stay at Grandmommy's Monday through Friday and spend weekends with my mommy. Well, that's what they told me when I got older. I can still hear Grandmommy talk about the day Mommy returned to Newark from Brooklyn. My sweet grandbaby Lizzie, she's so small she fits right on a pillow. I overheard this story 1,000 times, or maybe I really remember the day that it happened. But then when I was about 2.5 years old, I think, my daddy mailed some papers for my mommy to sign, and other family members whispered about how she wouldn't do it. Later, I found out that they were divorce papers. One day, he called on Grandmommy's black, shiny dial-up phone, and I hid behind Grandmommy's chair and held onto the back of it and listened. Mommy cried into the phone, "But Dee, can't we work it out?" I could tell my daddy was saying no on the other end of the phone because of that look on my mommy's face, and her face became blurry through my tears. So Lizzie, fun-loving little girl, 8 years old, but she has some challenges going on in her family. Her parents are divorced. She lives with her extended family, but they all love her very much. She has some really strong memories about what happened to her when she was very young. And we have to be careful about the things that we surround our children with when they are very young. Because believe it or not, they remember, they listen, and they even take in what's going on in the atmosphere. So parents, be careful. I hope you're liking the book so far. I'm just going to read one more chapter to you. I'm going to skip over to chapter 3. Lizzie, as I just read to you, she is getting ready to go. Her father's going to pick her up and take her down south, South Philadelphia, that is. And she really does not want to go because of all the fun that they have in Newark, New Jersey. Chapter 3, the day I got the news. The summer I turned 8, Mommy and Daddy decided that it was time for me to spend more time with my daddy at his house in Brooklyn. So off I went to Albany Avenue every other weekend to visit. My daddy treated me like a princess. I got anything I wanted, and we always ate the best food because next to my grandmommy, he was the best cook in the world. He made fried chicken, corn on the cob, macaroni and cheese. Or sometimes we would eat out at restaurants or at one of his stinky girlfriend's houses. Daddy always talked about his family down south, South Philadelphia, that is, and how one day he wanted me to meet them. Something told me that that day was going to happen soon. I love my daddy, but deep down inside, a part of me wanted to do what I usually did. Every single summer, stay home in Newark. I guess I shouldn't have been so surprised that day. Guess what? Daddy said. In July, I'm taking you to meet your great-grandparents, and your great aunt. You'll be spending 2 weeks down south with them. Are you staying too? I asked. No, I have to work. It'll just be you, your great-grandparents, and your great aunt. Well, usually I had a lot to say. That's why every marking period, my teacher wrote in my report card, Lizzie works very hard, but she needs to learn to control her mouth. I bet you know some children like that. But that day, I didn't know what to say. It felt like a piece of burnt toast was stuck in my throat. All the saliva just went away, and I didn't know what to say. I couldn't say anything if I tried. What did Mommy think? Did she agree with Daddy? And what about Granddaddy and Grandmommy? I wondered if Daddy had asked them if it was okay. And what about Shushu and Mookie? What would they do without me for 2 whole weeks? Good grief, what would I do without them? I tried to enjoy the rest of the weekend, but my stomach churned and flip-flopped nonstop. Did anybody think about how I felt? Thoughts about all the fun that I would miss bounced around inside my brain. Summertime meant skating at breakneck speed on the crooked pavement, playing hide-and-go-seek out back with Shushu and Mookie, and swinging so high that I almost go over the top of the part of the swings, and breaking my way through the elbows to shoot hoops at Weekway Park. Summertime meant scooping up jacks on the smooth black and white linoleum squares on the kitchen floor and hearing Mr. Softy's ice cream truck turning the corner and playing ball in the street when the cars aren't coming. Look at them out there playing ball in the street when the cars were not coming. Here is Shushu. That's Mookie. There's Lizzie in the back. And that's another one of the children in the neighborhood. Summertime also meant racing up to the library to hear Mrs. Parker read the latest adventure story in the children's department of the Bergen Street Library. And it meant sipping grape Kool-Aid while licking Bon Ton potato chip crumbs from my fingers. and racing up the street to get in the jump rope line to play 1, 2, 3, red light. But that summer, I was going to miss all that fun because my daddy wanted me to meet his side of the family for 2 entire weeks down south, South Philadelphia, that is. And that's just a little taste of Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes, second edition. It's real important to think about when we make decisions for our children to consider their feelings, because our children, they have a mind of their own sometimes, many times. And it's always good to consider them. Not that we're going to base our decisions around what they want, but it's good to consider their feelings. Because Lizzie was feeling kind of bad that she had to go down south, South Philadelphia, that is, and she didn't really want to go. So think about that, parents. Consider all of those things and make sure that you read to your children. Try to make it a habit every day. I know for some of my friends, today is the first day of school. I remember when I was a classroom teacher, the day after Labor Day was when we went back to school. And some of my other friends, you've already been in school a few weeks. So this year, I want all the children to do their best, learn a lot, and parents, you have an important job to do. Make sure that you're supporting them to become the best reader that they can be when they're home with you. Okay, that's it for Read a Book Day. I hope you enjoyed Summertime with Lizzie B. Hayes, second edition. You can get your copy on my website. I'll put the comments down. I'll put the link down in the chat. And until next time, I wish you love, laughter, and literacy. Good night, everyone.